Welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff. This is just me sitting here in my studio chatting to you as we watch back this footage that has been specifically requested by Moray, who came on the trip. You may see him in this clip, may not. I think he's actually quite a way back. But what's happening here is lane splitting or filtering between traffic in Malaysia, or just generally riding through traffic in Malaysia. We've got about 8 minutes of footage here of kind of the heaviest traffic that we rode through, which still by Malaysian standards isn't that heavy. I'm following a local guy who is riding an NMAX 155. I am on a Honda Wave 110. There's another Honda Wave 110 behind me. There's a Wave 125 behind me. Two Legenda 115s, a carbureted model and a fuel injected model. And we are just heading, and this is a little bit of a dicey looking pass here, I will admit, as the road gets narrower, but it's one of those things that I would be happy to do in Malaysia or Southeast Asia, but not over here. I'm not saying it was safe by any means, but there is a different awareness with local people in countries that have a large amount of small motorcycles. In Malaysia they call them kapchais, or in kapkai is how it's spelt, or in Thailand they're just called motorsai or mosai. They just use that word for everything. But yeah, sometimes the people that ride the small motorbikes in Thailand can be called Deck 1, which is like a boy racer, or, you know, like a ricer, I guess, but motorcycle version. Anyway, yeah, we're riding out of the very, very centre of Kuala Lumpur, and we're going out to Petaling Jaya because we were going to a little night market in SS2. And you can see the tip of Andrew. There's Andrew there. We're dressed for city riding, which means we hadn't started our full trip yet. This is actually the start of, or like 2 days before we left the city and rode all the way up to Thailand and then back again, 2,500 kilometres return. And we only really wore our full gear on our test riding day onwards. This night here, which is kind of the first day we'd had the bikes, this is our last thing we're about to do before we go back to our accommodation and chill out. We were hot and weren't ready to wear all our riding gear yet. Definitely a risk, is what it is. We've all got full face helmets, so I guess that's a positive. But yeah, let's kind of narrate what's happening here. So joining this highway, I'm looking in my mirrors and head checking a massive amount. There's all these different slip roads, like that one on the left, that kind of just come out of nowhere. In Malaysia, you are allowed on these highways, unlike in Thailand where motorcycles aren't, and you've got people coming up the side all the time like that. Just a little underbone, and the locals are often dressed in, generally always long pants, but often a t-shirt and, just a basic open-faced helmet. We're going to go into the right or the middle lane here and I'm following Waikia as closely as I can. His scooter, the 155, is easily outpacing what my 110 can do. This little 110's ringing itself out, and you can see in my left mirror sometimes, you can see the guys behind me as well. So we're going up in this middle lane here on this main highway, and I'm just following what Waikiet, the guy in the front's doing, generally because, he's the local guy, and you kind of want to do as the locals do. You don't want to go to another country and just jump in your vehicle, whether it be a car or a motorcycle, and operate it exactly as you would back home. You're around a different bunch of people that have been raised to operate a motor vehicle a different way. There are different kinds of vehicles. In some parts of Southeast Asia, you'll find that when you ride, as soon as people go past you, that's it. They never look behind. It's kind of their field of vision is, like 180 degrees from their left to their right. And then anything behind that, too bad. You need to adjust for it. So you've got to be really defensive with your riding here. As you see, braking early. We're about to lane split. There's no point not lane splitting as long as things aren't going super fast. And as you see here, I pull in and give myself some space in the lane and then jump back in between and happily lane split. You'll see a lot of small cars, but like a lot of new cars. There's a Mazda People Mover on the side there. That's me trying to check if everyone's close by. Protons, Perodjuas. You've got a big Toyota Veil side here, or Alphard they call them over there. And a Honda City. What's that? A little Perodjua. Looks like a Daihatsu. Kind of is, kind of not really. So yeah, a mix of vehicles. And what you may notice if you've ridden in Vietnam, or if you've ridden, say, in Bangkok, it feels like there's a lot less motorbikes. Not really. It's just kind of the time of day we're riding, where we're going. A lot of people use bikes you know, for their daily transport. But as you can see, cars are super popular, and they actually make a few brands in Malaysia, Perodua and Proton. They're made within the country, it's their own brand. So look at that old beast there, like Datsun Sunny or something. They sell for quite a decent price, and you know, they're fine. There is the whole keeping up with the Joneses, as you see in a lot of Southeast Asian countries. A lot of people want the newest, latest, best thing, and they're all kind of trying to comp each other into who has the best vehicle on the, you know, the budget they have. But oh, look at Tesla. And I don't know, I don't really gel with that. That Proton there that looks like an old Mitsubishi V3000 from New Zealand makes me happy. Yeah, this is an interesting part. So this is the part that Moray was specifically wanting to see. Riding through a tunnel. I might just shush for a second and you can listen. The audio is pretty bad, but this is what it sounds like. As we pass the Vanette, the Nissan Vanette there, which are incredibly popular in Malaysia. I'll pick up my conversation again. But yeah, gently lane splitting to get through the traffic. You can see how many cars we've passed. I'm not going to count it, but this is a clear clip, no editing. Someone else can count if they want and see how many vehicles we've passed. And you just save so much time. This trip that took us a total of 15 to 20 minutes. I haven't got the whole clip of it on here. On a motorcycle would easily take upwards of an hour, if not more, in a four-wheeled vehicle. So yeah, bikes have their place in a big city like this. If I lived somewhere like Malaysia or any of the big cities in Southeast Asia where they're popular, I would 100% ride a bike on the daily. It's generally drier for a longer period. Look, we're about to turn off here, so we've got to do a little boop left into the left lane, kind of zip between those two cars there, or the car and the pickup. But it worked. And everyone's aware, they're looking out for you. I feel safer riding like this in Southeast Asia than I do in my lane and being super defensive in New Zealand, because people are just used to bikes, like I say. But yeah, we're almost at the location, and the video will end soon. Anyway, back to what I was saying, is it's generally a bit drier around here in these parts, or like, you know, when it's not rainy season, you know you've got a consistent period where you can ride every single day, whereas living in somewhere like New Zealand, even in summer, you might get showers randomly throughout the day. In winter, if it rains, it becomes, and it's cold, you know, you can get dangerously cold. It's just something that you kind of have to be aware of, and I think it's easier to plan riding in Southeast Asia, especially when it's hot and raining, because you know that even if you do get wet, you're going to dry off pretty soon anyway, so you're less hesitant to avoid the rain. But yeah, we've pulled off the highway and gone into a little district, suburb, I guess you would call it here. This is SS2, a part of Petaling Jaya. There's a big Chinese Malay community here, but you know, there's people of all sorts, shapes, sizes, denominations living in this area, and everyone loves to come together for the local night market, which we're about to turn up to. And yeah, one thing I haven't mentioned before we get to the end of this is that we've all got Bluetooth intercoms and talking to each other in this video. So yeah, if you've enjoyed it, let me know. If you haven't enjoyed it, let me know, that's fine, you can tell me that as well. But have you ridden in traffic in Southeast Asia? Do you come from Southeast Asia? I've got a lot of Malaysian people watching the channel, a lot of people from Indonesia, the Philippines. If you've watched this video and you ride in or come from one of those countries and ride, what do you ride? Do you like riding in traffic? Do you lane split? Do you feel comfortable doing that, or do you kind of think that motorcycles are dangerous and no one should ever touch them? I'm super curious to see in the comments how you feel about the riding that you've done in busy cities around the world, whether it's Southeast Asia or not. It would be really interesting to hear about the commuting culture or the lane splitting and filtering culture. And as you can see, everything's super busy as we get here into the market. There's a stinky tofu stand right there, that yellow one, which I actually didn't know was there, and I thought the sewer was nearby. My god, it was pungent, but hey, some people love it. Anyway, parking up. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. This is for you, Moray. I hope anyone else that's watched it has enjoyed it, and yeah, get out to Malaysia and ride. It's a really cool place.